Hey guys, so today I have swatches of two new collections from I Love Nail Polish, the Summer 2018 collection and the Ultra Hollows 2018 collection. There are 12 polishes here altogether. I will link the I Love Nail Polish website down below so you guys can check these out, and I'll get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Bliss, and this is a slightly nudie pink with a gold shimmer, those little holographic flakes, and what almost looks like little gold flakes as well. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. There are a few very minor brush strokes through that gold shimmer when you first apply it, but those do go away pretty quickly as it dries. And good formula on this one. So this one is starting to build up on the second coat. You get a little bit better of a color, but I can still see my nail line a bit, so I'm going to add a third. The shimmer starts to stand out a bit better as well as that color builds up. And those little tiny flakes that are in there are very light and they lay really flat on their own. So this one does cover completely for me in 3 coats. And I do feel like that third coat gives me a little bit better color still. I mentioned before that these little flakies are not going to stick up or be textured at all. They're not going to be difficult to remove from the nail either. So that is 3 coats of Bliss. The next polish is called Deep End, and this is a really vibrant blue with holographic, little like scattered holographic bits in there, and then this shimmer that shifts from green to like a really fiery orangey red pink. This one is pretty sheer on the first coat for being a darker color. It is a jelly, so that all of those different elements in there stand out, so that means it is going to take a bit more to build up. That's kind of the trade-off for a polish with a finish like this. Really good formula on this one as well. So this one is starting to build up on the second coat, but I can still see my nail line pretty well. You can see that as that color gets deeper, the shimmer stands out really nicely. And just like the last one, those little holographic shimmers that are in there are really light. They're not going to be textured on the nail at all, and they're not going to be difficult to remove. So this one covers completely in 3 coats. I do feel like if I look very, very closely, I can still see a bit of my nail line. So if you have a much whiter nail line or more nail line showing than I do, you'll probably still be able to see it a bit after that third coat. So that is 3 coats of Deep End. The next polish is called On Location, and this is a super bright red with a gold shimmer and those little holographic flakes. So this one is also a bit sheer on that first coat. I can't speak. And looking at the bottle, I definitely misrepresented that shimmer. It's not just gold, it's that shifty kind of green to gold. It might be the same one that's in the blue, but the reddy pink colors aren't going to show up, I still can't speak, against a red base. And good formula on this one as well. Looks very pink on that first coat. So this one is starting to build up pretty well actually on that second coat, but I can still see some nail line. The shimmer stands out much better once that color starts to build up. And like all the other ones, little tiny holographic flakies in there, so they're not going to be textured at all. So for me, this one does cover completely in 3 coats, but just like the blue, I feel like if you have a very, very white nail line or longer nails or do thinner coats or any combination of the 3, you'll probably still have a little bit of nail line after 3 coats with this. Personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I know some people like really don't like that. I think with this polish there's enough going on that it distracts from it, but that's just going to depend on your personal preference. So that is 3 coats of On Location. The next polish is called No Days Off, and this is a kind of metallic teal with a ton of scattered holographic. So this one is pretty opaque on the first coat. It's a little bit streaky through those little metallic flakes. The holographic seems to stand out really well. And really good formula on this one as well. With these little metallic flakes in here, I feel like this is the kind of polish where if you overwork it or swipe over the same area too many times, you're going to end up pulling some of the polish that you've already applied off. So go easy with this one. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. There are just a few kind of like bald spots that I wanted to cover up. It's hard to tell because there is so much reflection in the little metallic flakes that are in here, but it does dry a bit dull, so you will want top coat. So that is 2 coats of No Days Off. The next polish is called Play Hard, and this is this really cool kind of like purpley gunmetal metallic with those scattered holographic flakes. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat, but it should build up pretty well. These metallic flaky kind of polishes usually do. And with this one in the bottle anyway, it was a little bit difficult to pick out those holographic flakes, but I think they're going to stand out a little bit better in the sun. And good formula on this one as well. So this one doesn't quite cover completely for me in 2 coats. It is really close, but I feel like I just have a few little bald spots that I want to cover up. I am being really, really picky there. I think a lot of people will be okay with 2 coats, but for me, I need that one extra. And this is a polish that I think you're going to get little metallic flakies all over the place when you remove it. Okay, so for me, this one does cover completely in my really picky, probably unnecessary 3rd coat. I had like a few spots that I felt like I could see through the little metallic particles, but only at certain angles. And this is another one of those polishes where the little holographic sparkles don't stand out too much when you're just looking at it, but then out in the sun you'll see it. So that is 3 coats of Play Hard. And the last polish in the summer collection before we get into the Ultra Hollows is called Rush Hour, and this is kind of a multi-chrome looking metallic flake polish. It shifts from a pink to like a greenish gold. It's mostly this pink shade, and then also has that scattered holographic in there. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. You can see that it's in a jelly base, like a tinted jelly base that you totally could not see at all when it was in the bottle. That's good. It's going to help it build up a lot quicker and not have gaps in between those flakes. And good formula on this one, and the little holographic sparkles stand out really well in this polish. So I can still see a bit of nail line with this one on the second coat, but it is building up really well. I think it's probably going to be a little less sheer on these 2 nails because I did a thinner coat on my pointer finger. And because it's in more of a jelly base, it actually dries pretty shiny. So this one does cover completely for me on that 3rd coat. I do feel like I get a little bit deeper of a color, but I still think that for most people you'll probably be okay with too. I'm just a little picky today. And you might get some of those flakes on the skin when you remove it, but it shouldn't be too bad because it wasn't like super incredibly dense since it was in that tinted base. So that is 3 coats of Rush Hour. So moving on to the Ultra Hollows for summer 2018, this first polish is called Sail Away, and this is a super holographic aqua blue shade. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. You can see it is super, super holographic. And with all holographic polishes, they tend to, how do I say this, kind of pull together and look a bit more linear and a bit stronger of a holographic after they're fully dry. And good formula on this one. So this one is still a bit sheer on that second coat for me. I can still see some nail line if I look very, very closely, but I'm going to wait until I have all of these on because I might just call this on 2 coats anyway, because the holographic is so strong that it's very difficult to pick that out. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call this good on 2 coats. I think that a 3rd coat just for a little bit of nail line that you can only see from like an inch away from your nails at a very extreme angle is not worth a 3rd coat. So that is 2 coats of Sail Away. The next polish is called Kiss and Tell, and this is a medium pink holographic. So this one is also a bit sheer on that first coat, but really not terrible. Not as sheer as I would have expected it to be. And very strong holographic with this as well. And also great formula. So this one, like the other one, does cover completely in 2 coats. Although with this one I can't like twist and contort my fingers in a way that makes me see my nail line at all. So it's a solid 2-coater. And that color does get a bit deeper with that second coat as well. So that is 2 coats of Kiss and Tell. The next polish is called Sundance, and this is a light yellowy green holographic. So this one is also just a bit sheer on that first coat, but the holographic is so strong that these have been building up well into. I can still see just a little bit of nail line, and good formula on this one also. So this one I'm also going to call in 2 coats. I feel like it is very similar to that first aqua blue shade, where if you look very, very closely at a certain angle, I can still see a bit of nail line, but it's certainly not worth it to go all the way through a 3rd coat just for that. So that is 2 coats of Sundance. The next polish is called Sidekick, and this is a medium, kind of cooler purple holographic. And this one is also a bit sheer on the first coat. Also very, very strong holographic. These all pretty much look the same as far as the strength of the holographic goes. And good formula as well, that's also been the same across the board. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and that second coat does deepen the color a bit as well. But the holographic, even on that first coat, was strong enough that it hid my nail line on camera. You could still see it a bit in person, but it's not very obvious on camera. And these all dry pretty shiny as well. So that is 2 coats of Sidekick. The next polish is called Tidal Wave, and this is a medium, almost cobalt blue holographic. So like the other ones, this one is also a bit sheer on that first coat. The base in this one, I could be totally making this up, but the base in this one almost has like a little bit of its own metallic-y feel aside from the holographic, and like I said, I'm probably imagining that. Good formula on this one as well. I just feel like it has like a little bit of an extra shine to it. So looking at this when it is completely dry, when that first coat's completely dry, I'm definitely not crazy. The blue in this for sure has a bit of like a metallic sheen to it, completely aside from the holographic. And it does cover completely in 2 coats. So that is 2 coats of Tidal Wave. And the last polish is called Pick Me Up, and this is a warmer purple holographic. Here it is next to Sidekick, so you can kind of see the shade difference there. So this one is also sheer on the first coat, but it is like probably the least sheer of all of them. Just a little tiny bit of nail line showing, and good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and that second coat does deepen the color a bit as well. So that is 2 coats of Pick Me Up. So Deep End is by far my favorite. It's blue with this shifty green to red shimmer and holographic sparkles in it. I knew from like the second I opened this box that Deep End was going to be my favorite. I didn't even have to swatch it. It's a really, really, really nice deep blue shade with all of that extra stuff added to it. And I like blue anyway, but then when you add a bunch of stuff to it, it's like right up my alley. So Deep End is my favorite. So those are the new polishes for summer 2018 from I Love Nail Polish. Again, I will link that website down below where you guys can check those out. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.